What is up, you guys? It's your girl Sierra. Welcome back to my channel. This video is going to be our Fiction Friday video. We haven't done one in a minute. Technically, I kind of did a Fiction Friday, technically speaking, not really, when I did the Bake the Cookies and talking about those books because they all had like the same themes. Because if you don't know, on Fridays I typically do Fiction Fridays where I talk about a book and I talk about like specific themes or maybe answer some questions, all depending on what I'm feeling for that particular video. But yeah, this video is going to be about The Weight of Blood by Tiffany D. Jackson. I'm gonna put it up here somewhere. And y'all, before we start, I'm just going to say this year has been the most mind-boggling, life-draining, mentally exhausting year so far. And that's not because of like my life in general, but also because of the books I've been reading. Like, if you've been watching any of my videos since the start of the year, my books have been heavy. They've been heavy as hell. Like, I actually listened to Grown, Tiffany D. Jackson as well. But this year alone, I've read This Cursed House, Ace of Spades. Oh God. Hell, there were some other ones in there too. Petrified Women. Even that one is very like, oh my God. Ooh, The Yellow Wallpaper too. Baby, when I say these books have literally drained all the life out of me, but I absolutely love them, I mean it. These books have been a whirlwind where it's like I just sit down and I just stare at a wall, or I need to like go on ahead after listening to the books, because I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks, or after physically reading the book, I need to watch Baby Daddy, because I need something to combat the mess that has been going on with these books. I'm like, that shit was heavy. I need something feel good. I need something funny. I need something absolutely ridiculous that I absolutely love. And that's why I've been watching Baby Daddy. I did a video on Baby Daddy. That's the previous video. I will put that up at the top if you want to check that out. It's like an hour-long video. You can just put me on in the background while also learning up, like, you know, watching the show. You just want to put it on if you're like, you know what? I want absolute nonsense, you know, in the sitcom. Go ahead, turn it on. But we're going to talk about The Weight of Blood. So, I have my notes down here, so I'm going to look now. But The Weight of Blood is a Carrie retelling by Tiffany D. Jackson, and it is about our main character, Maddie Washington, who is a biracial high school senior who is forced to hide her ethnicity by her father. She experiences bullying and has endured a lot throughout, I would say even when she was a child, because they do talk about a little bit of her childhood throughout the story. And suddenly there's a moment in class that leads to shocking realization that she has telekinetic powers. So that's where the whole Carrie aspect comes into this. But I would also say this reminds me very much of the show Everything Is Not Okay. I'm going to let you know this now. If you like Carrie, if you like this book, I think you will like Everything Is Not Okay. But I will let you know, that show was canceled. I know that was loud, but I'm going to tell you this now. That show was canceled, so there's only one season. It's on Netflix, because Netflix likes to fuck around to find out. So mad. But it's such a good show. The main character on there also has like some type of power. You don't really get too much information on the origin of it. You get a hint of it. But she has powers just like Carrie, just like Maddie, and a lot of it has to do with her sexual identity. That's really the scope of this show. But it's really good. Highly recommend it. Watch it. After this video, though. Anyway, moving on. So, I want to talk about, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 specific themes / topics about this book. So, if you've read this book, fantastic. come onto the video. Let's talk about these things. If you have not read the book yet, go read it or listen to it. For me, I listened to it. I listened to it through the Libby app, actually. I've been going through a frenzy of listening to audiobooks around this time, so I kind of went through quite a bit of books already. But anyway, we're going to cover identity, being black enough, bullying versus hatred, because I feel like there's a huge difference in this story. I wrote dependent on a relationship, but what I mean is there's just like insecure attachment. That's really what I mean. So let's start off with the main aspect of the story, the main theme of it all, and that is identity. Oh God, this identity is a huge aspect of the show, and it's not even like, to me, as I was listening to it, I didn't get the sense of like it was Maddie dealing with an identity crisis. It was more so everyone else having an issue with Maddie's identity. I don't think Maddie necessarily had an identity crisis. She was just told of who she was supposed to be and how she was supposed to portray herself. But herself necessarily, I didn't get that she was even struggling with knowing who she is as a person. Like, I didn't get that. It was more so of her dad trying to hide the secret that she's half black, and her classmates making fun of her identity, making fun of who she is and how she acts. That's what I got from it. I know you're thinking, if you haven't read this story, or if if it's been a minute since you've read it or listened to it, let's go back. What do you mean her dad had an issue with her identity? Well, her dad has deliberately been implanting the idea of what she's supposed to look like. So literally all over her room, in her closet, on her walls, are just pictures of white women with straight bone hair, or even just like they're, like pin-up curls or anything like that, but just white women with blue eyes, of how she's supposed to look like. But the thing is, Maddie don't look like that, and she's not trying to look like that. It's her dad that's making her look like that. He's the one that's literally giving her a fucking silk press almost every goddamn day because he don't want to deal with her fucking naps. He don't want to accept the fact that she's half black, which is that man got on my nerves when he was telling his story of how that whole situation happened in general, of how he even got with her mother. I was just like, I want to slap you anyway. Like, it was so stupid. Like, and that just kind of, it just takes me all the way the fuck off, because there are literally white people who are like this, who would get with black people or have sex with them, have a child with them, and then literally degrade their child for being half black. You should never did in the first place. That's exactly what her dad is doing. He's degrading her blackness and demonizing it because it's not what he wants her to look like. Should never been with a black woman. The fuck is wrong with you, dumbass? Oh, he was so annoying. So, her classmates, everyone believes that she's a white girl. But they all bully her, not because of her whiteness, but because she's strange. She's weird. She doesn't talk to anybody. She doesn't behave in the typical manner of a teenager. So they bully her. Of course they do. And one day when she's at gym at the beginning of the story, it starts raining. And so she runs home from school, because she's in gym during this time when it happens, when it starts to rain, and obviously her curls start to show, and everyone's like, oh my god, what the hell is that? Oh my god, it's a fro. Oh my god, she's black. Like, it's like the caucasity. It just starts raining in. Get it? Raining in. And literally, as she gets home, her dad is like, I told you to check the weather. It's like, first of all, sometimes rain just be coming out of nowhere. It happens. Calm down. But you get literally the first instance of how her dad literally demonizes her blackness. Like, oh, now I gotta flat it all over again. You're supposed to check the weather. This is your responsibility. And then while he does flat iron her hair, he quizzes her on historical facts. Which, to me, I got the sense of the fact that... Oh, no, sorry. It is mentioned in the book. She didn't have... She didn't go to school when she was supposed to go to school. She went to school late. So I think that he was teaching her his... whatever he wanted to teach her at the very beginning, because he didn't want people to find out that she was half black. He didn't want to deal with the possibility of people finding out. Like, even in her school records, her mom is not listed. Whole separate thing. But he is literally hiding her blackness, and every time she gets a question wrong, he burns her. Yeah, I didn't want to make that like a whole theme or like concept, because there's a lot going on in the story, and I feel like that was already very obvious in terms of how her room looked and how everyone treats her, like at school too. Like, I feel like that's just the aspect I don't want to get into, because then I'll just get like very upset, and I don't want to discuss too much of that's just my preference. But it is a huge part of the story, obviously. But yeah, every time she gets a question wrong, he burns her with the hot comb. He hits her. He's very abusive, physically, verbally, all of that, really. And so, but the thing is, she literally has no one else. She doesn't have any friends. She works down at his vintage shop, and she takes care of him. Like, she literally has no one at all. Not even a friend to like connect with at the beginning, like, you know, that she has been with, that has known her. I guess all because he doesn't want anyone to find out that she's half black. So he is very much like, nope, no one can be around. Nope, nope, just you and me. But yeah, I feel like it's very much he had an issue with her identity, because he didn't want to recognize that she was half black. And then we get the kids at school. She did not adhere to what a typical white girl acts like or looks like, because yes, her hair is pressed. There was still something odd about her that everyone bullied her, essentially. Like, they bullied her when she was a kid. They were like, she's weird, so we're just gonna bully her. Yes, I mean, that's what they fucking do. A kid is weird, a kid is different, a kid is strange, so they bully them because they don't fall into the stereotypical parts or like stereotypical aspects of who they should be, which is also stupid, but you know. Oh god, like there's not much we can do about that, because it happens all the damn time. It happens to everyone at some point in their life. If they're bullied as children, young adult, if there's something different about you, which is so stupid, someone will literally find that out, or at least like find some reason to bully you, degrade you, demonize you, all the stuff, just because you're not the same as them. It's really fucking stupid. It's so annoying. But these kids are like throwing stuff in her hair now that she has a fro, throwing stuff in her hair up to the point where she literally, you get the first instance of her telekinetic powers when the classroom that she's in like shakes. But the thing is, nowhere else in that school felt it. Everyone's like, oh my god, did you feel the earthquake? They're like, what do you mean? What are you talking about? There was no earthquake. Nothing happened. So it's just like, ugh, this is awkward. Like, this is different. And I would say also to the identity, because I don't have a whole bunch of notes. I just wanted to cover this because it is a huge aspect of the story. But I feel like Maddie, since Maddie didn't really have an identity crisis to me, but she did have limited exposure to her blackness. Like, her dad chose certain things for her to learn, or even at school, because our school system is broken. It's broken and it's stupid. She only got exposed to the things about racism and slavery, just the bare minimum, like literally just the pieces of it that they teach you in school, just the pieces of it. That's the only thing that she had consumed, and she never done any research like beyond that. She was like, oh, what do you mean they abolished slavery? And then as she's talking to Kenny's sister, I forgot her name, was it Crystal? Oh, it wasn't Crystal, I forgot her name. I think it started with the C. But still, like, as she's talking to her, she's learning like the true-ish behind everything. And even then, to this day, like, we're learning even more about the extreme, disgusting, demonic details of those time periods. She's getting more information later on as she's doing her own research. I feel like the way I phrased it is very much like a Disney-esque view of racism. And by Disney, I mean like literally, because you know how Disney is. Disney makes everything look so pretty and perfect, but the stories still have underlining creepy themes and creepy instances, but it's like packaged in to like a romance or like a movie about self-discovery, like with The Little Mermaid. She sold her voice to go on land, where it's like, oh, she wanted to be a human. It's like, yeah, but she literally gave up a part of herself to go on this land. That's scary. You gave up a part of yourself to live a life that is not meant for you. Y'all don't think that's weird? Like when you really think about it, you're like, huh, ooh, this is not good. And I feel like that's how Maddie's view of race and experience of being black, that's really what she got. She just got like the things that people chose to cherry pick to feed to her without any actual substance or actual information, even to the depths of what are the grueling underlining details of those stories of herself that she had to uncover on her own. And the thing is, from Kenny's sister, which I don't like that girl. I'm just gonna say it. I don't like Kenny's sister because ooh Lord, that's in the next part. But I feel like a lot of that Maddie just didn't know. So it wasn't the fact that she was trying to hide her blackness or like she didn't want to connect to her blackness. She wasn't allowed to. And you guys, probably some people would say like, well, she could have done her own research. Okay, but she had the father. Would you do any research about your blackness if you haven't literally burned you with a hot comb, who has isolated you from everybody in town your entire fucking life? I wouldn't do it either. I wouldn't do any research. I'll be like, you know what? I'm cool. It's just me and my dad over here on this side. I wouldn't rock the boat. So y'all can't blame Maddie for not rocking the boat and not doing the research, because that man is terrifying. I wouldn't do it either. I'm just saying. Anyway, next topic, being black enough. This is where I hate Kenny's sister. Let's go. So, Kenny, they call him Kenny. His sister is, oh God, her behavior towards Maddie is mind-boggling to me, because as they discover that Maddie is half black, his sister is like on a rampage towards her. Like, I get it, like, you know, they're teenagers, they're stupid, they make dumb mistakes. She also has like a weird sense of a superiority complex over Maddie, of like, oh, I know more about black history, I know more about being black than you do. It's like, well, yeah, of course you do. It's fine in your household to be black. And she could literally a welt over her eye for even saying I don't know, Beyonce. Like, it's a completely different household. It's a completely different dynamic. So, no. She had no reason to act like that towards Maddie. I feel like that was so unwarranted. She's literally like, talking down on Maddie if Maddie's there or not there. But even in the scenes where it's in Kenny's POV, the sister is just so freaking rude. Like, this girl, like, they didn't know she was even being. They never got to that part, which I'm mad about, because I would have, ooh, baby, if they had found out by her dad. Oh, every single person who survived in this story, oh, they would have had a long look in the mirror, because I would. I mean, literally, you bully someone about their appearance, and then obviously this whole situation happens in the story. I'm not gonna give away all of it, but after the situation happens, and then you come to find out later on that not only were you bullying her to the point where she was acting like a cornered animal, she was actually also a at home. I would take a long look in the mirror and be like, you know what? I'm a shitty person. Straight up. I'm just saying. And I feel like his sister clearly needed that moment to really realize, oh, I'm a person. Just because you are pro-black, you own your blackness, and you stand up for other black people. Like, you're very much like, who the hell is that? Sorry, y'all. I thought somebody was in the driveway. It doesn't give you a reason to look down on somebody who is not performing the blackness you want them to perform. Like, there's no reason for that. And so it feels like very much like Maddie would never be black enough for anybody in that town. Even Kendrick, for the sister, she didn't even view Kendrick as black enough because he didn't, I guess, check his friends. Really, I get it. Kendrick should have checked his friends for their blatant racism, clearly, but he's a teenager. Teenagers don't make the best choices. They don't make good friend choices. They just don't. They're still young. They're learning. They really want to be part of a group. They want to have that sense of belonging. That's like the huge aspect of being a teenager, is having a sense of belonging. And even though, yeah, they make these comments around Kendrick, he still feels a belonging because they've been friends his whole freaking life. So no, he's not going to. So no, he wasn't going to like talk back or, like stand up for himself or stand up for his blackness around them. So I can't say that, like, I can't say like completely like 1000% like he should have done better. Like, yeah, he could have done better, but what do you guys expect from a teenager who wants a sense of belonging? And then in a town like this, you don't have many options. I'm not excusing it, but that is a reason behind it. It's not an excuse, it's a reason behind as to why he struggled with standing up for himself, really. He didn't have the confidence in himself to stand up to them. He didn't have a sense of belonging outside of them like his sister did. Clearly, she was confident in herself. She felt like the crew that she was with, that she felt that she was comfortable, she belonged with them, but she also felt comfortable and confident to stand up for herself and other black students there. But he did not. Like, it's a completely different perspective of what he experienced as a black teenage boy than her experience. And so now with Maddie, now with her recognizing that Maddie's half black, she is now also talking shit about Maddie, of her being like, oh god, she's been hiding her blackness. Oh my gosh, she doesn't feel comfortable with her blackness. She's hiding it. She did it on purpose because she knows she's white passing. No, boo, that's not it at all. And I get it. Like, that's where your mentality is because of how she interprets those situations and that space and those information. But that's not the case. That's not the case for everybody. For Maddie, she was literally had no choice but to hide that part of her. She didn't even know part of that. Like, she recognized that she was half black, but there was nothing else about herself in that side that she ever got to know. Her dad didn't let her. That's not Maddie's fault. That's not Maddie's fault. So I felt like that was very much like, it made me mad. It made me really not like the sister because of that. Because it very much had like it kind of reminded me of Sam from Dear White People. Very much that. Very much just like, I am extremely pro-black to the point it's kind of performative. And I'm also going to talk bad about other people who are not at the level that I am. It's like, girl, that's not the point of being black. Like, there's a difference between being confident in your blackness, representing your blackness, and being comfortable to stand up for yourself and others, but you're also not using it in a way that degrades other people in the sense of making them feel like they're not black enough because you're on a whole different level. Like, there's a difference in doing that. It's like, yes, like, you can love yourself, you can love other black people, you can appreciate other black people and their different ways of life, their different interests, but then there's the way of being a performative black. I'm just saying. Let me know in the comments below what you think about that, because I feel like it's completely two different aspects of it. And with Maddie, she did not know, and the fact that she did start to learn, she wanted to know, she just fucking couldn't. She was scared to do anything that would upset her dad. Hell, literally, y'all didn't even know Maddie existed for years, up until all of a sudden she's a new student at school. He could have killed a girl a long time ago. Y'all would have never known. I'm just saying. That was just like an aspect of the story that just really like irritated me. Because it's a lot harder than what she was making it into. Not even a sense of like, it's hard for, not even a sense of like, it was hard for Maddie to own her blackness, but it was difficult for her to even gain the knowledge of the side of herself that was hidden from her. Like, that was beyond Maddie's control. So I feel like Kendrick's sister was doing too much, and was just very blatantly rude and just not even spiteful, but just like very much just like labeling her as other. And it's like, oh god, we don't have time for this. That was just like an aspect of it that just really like revved me up. Like, I don't know if anybody else like really took that in, because I know that Kendrick does mention it in the story of like, no one's gonna be black enough for you, huh? Not me, not Maddie. Like, it is mentioned in the story, but I don't know if anyone else could grasp that beyond just that moment and actually like discuss it. So if you have any input, please put that down in the comments below. All right, next up, bullying versus hatred. Ooh, baby, this is a complete difference. Those kids have bullied Maddie for years, and the difference is, I would say, they've bullied her, and she's also, obviously, like I said, she's experienced the abuse from her father. But there's one character that clearly just fucking hated her, and that is Jules, which is Kenny's girlfriend's best friend. I think Jules straight up hated her. Jules did not bully her. Jules hated her. Showing up to the freaking dance, not even the dance, the football game, whatever it was, the costume thing, in blackface, portrayed as Maddie. I think Jules truly hated Maddie. I don't know why, but that's what I got. I think she legit hated her for no reason at all. I think she just purely hated her because there was nothing like that would make Jules be jealous of Maddie or anything like that. There wasn't like, oh, Maddie is the number one student and Jules is number two, and so now not only is Jules bullying her, but Jules also hates her for being smarter than her. Like, there was nothing like that. I think Jules just straight up hated her, like just unwarranted hate. Like, Jules was the devil. Oh my god! Like, they literally bullied this girl to the point where she was like acting like an animal, like that was cornered. Like most cornered animals, like if they feel cornered, they're gonna attack, they're gonna try to fight back. But Maddie wasn't doing that. She literally was just experiencing bullying all around. So she literally just like shielded herself. She had no fucking choice. So then when all this other stuff starts to happen, she starts to actually get some strength in herself and trying to stand up for herself and actually make a connection with Kenny by actually talking and communicating and being herself with someone that isn't harming her for being herself. That's just my take on that. That was a complete difference. Jules hated that girl. Alright, last one before I go pick up my cousin from the bus. I would say is the insecure attachment, depending on a relationship. Wendy heavily depended on Kendrick a lot. She was very much like, oh yeah, I'm team Kendrick. I do this and this for Kendrick. I do this and this for him so he can become the best football player, but then is literally only doing it so she can depend on him monetarily in the future because her parents didn't give that to her. Ooh, girl. Like, that was a very interesting dynamic, I will say, between them, because a parent should take care of their child. A parent should raise their child. A parent should provide for their child, but her parents were not providing for her. Instead of seeking that for herself and doing it herself, of being like, okay, I'm gonna go to school and work while I'm in school and just try to, like, build my footing, she did not do that. She is very much like, I will go to the same school as Kendrick, and yeah, I'm gonna do all these things for him because in turn he's gonna do everything for me, and then we're gonna get married and have 2 kids and live in a house with a white picket fence. Like Kendrick said, it was all about her. Every aspect of his life and of the decisions she made towards Maddie was for her own gain, to make her look good, to make her feel better about herself. But baby, it didn't work. It did not work, and she was very dependent on that relationship and just very, very immature, I would say that. So very much just had insecure attachment with Kenny, with her parents. She had no confidence in herself, no backbone, nothing, absolutely nothing. She even did that with Jules. Like, she's heavily dependent on other people, and I would love to see how she is as an adult. Like, we got like snippets of it, of like the interviews from the podcast of what the situation happened, but we don't really get like any backstory of how Wendy is as an adult. I would love to have seen that, like have like even like a chapter or a paragraph where it's like, oh, Wendy in her now 30s, married with a son or something like that, or a single parent, something. I would love to see that, a little bit of something of how she is as an adult. But yeah, that's everything I wanted to talk to you guys about with Weight of Blood. If you like this video, be sure to like this video, comment below a book that you would love for me to discuss in detail for the next one. I have a few ideas, but drop a book in the comments below. I'll read it. If it has an audiobook, I definitely will listen to it, and then we can talk about it. Until next time, stay magical. Bye.